Okay. Good morning, everybody. Holy cow, it is way too early. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today on this very early morning while I chug my coffee. Okay, so true story. Whilst we are waiting for everybody to show up, I did have every intention of having my hair down. It looks pretty. And then the weather was like, you know what? All the humidity needs to be on top of your house right now. So I put my hair down and went poof. So mom bun it is for the day. Hey, Shay. Hey, Sabrina. Hello from San Diego. I am told that the weather in San Diego is like always perfect and beautiful. I'm kind of jealous. Oh, good morning, Barb. Good morning, Pam. Hey, guys. Okay, my hair is just doing crazy things. And hopefully, you won't be able to see it in just a few minutes once we actually start doing all the fun stuff. Hello from England. Victoria and Melanie are both from England. You guys said that you're from England back to back. That's too funny. Good morning, Timera. Am I saying that right? Hi, Amy from Sydney. Oh, my goodness. Guys, so apparently 8 a.m. and I get my international people. I get my international guys being able to show up. Well, good morning, everybody from all around. So, hello from Maryland. Hello from North Carolina. Another Englander, Louise. Oh, my goodness. This is too funny. Okay. So, I am assuming that you guys can hear me okay. I was like, I hope that they can hear me. I had to rush around, obviously, super last minute, all the time. Florida. Oh my goodness, guys, you guys are from all over. This is so exciting. I love the internet sometimes. It lets us all come together and everything from after 2020, I'm like, if we can all just hang out on the internet and be cool on the internet, it's a pretty cool place. So we got to kind of get going. Oh gosh, Tracy, you have your coffee ready for some fun training. Do you see the size of this coffee cup? Wait, it says how big it is. It's 22-ounce coffee cup. I got it because it was pretty and sparkly. Can you guys see the sparkly? Okay, we have to get started because my computer hates whenever I do Canva videos, Canva trainings, my computer's like, you know what? We're just going to go real slow today. So we got to get started. And I promise I have plenty of stuff, plenty of stuff to talk about today. So backstory, in case we haven't met. Hi, I'm Caroline Wenzel. I own CarolineWenzel.com. I grew up in a world of graphic design. My mom has her master's of fine art. And so we grew up doing really cool art projects, learning about the rule of thirds. We had calligraphy books way back from the day where you couldn't actually print things with fonts on the computer. You had to trace it in a book and then write it out and then photocopy it. It was a whole thing. That makes me sound really old. I just turned 30. But so typography, fonts, graphics have always been something I have loved. And I am fortunate enough through the goodness of the internet to be able to share that with you guys. And one of the things that I put out to everybody a different, I put out to my email list and to my Facebook group a little bit ago was, what were you struggling with in Canva? And one of the biggest ones was, how do I know what's too much? If something looks good, kind of just those design elements. And so I was like, this is a perfect way to start. So we are going to kind of kick it off from there. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about fonts, some of my favorite ways to save time and energy once you make a design that you really like. How to kind of figure out if it's too much or too little, and kind of how to have fun inside of Canva. How to have fun inside of Canva. Because honestly, that's what this whole thing is about. Because I don't know about you, product creation is really my jam. But if it takes forever to make a product, if it takes forever to edit something, to create something, I'm not going to want to do it. Am I the only one who, if something is too difficult to do, I won't do it. call it lazy, but human nature, whatever it is. And that's what same exact thing comes down to graphics. So I want to make graphic design super, super easy for you, super fun and super doable so that you don't feel like you have to go out and hire a graphic designer. So I wanted to share with you guys some of my favorite things. So, backstory, I guess, part 2. I made a bunch of designs for you guys, so that we can kind of not like show off, like experiment with them, play around with them, have some fun. And at the end of this lovely little call that we're going to do, you guys have the option to join the On Point Templates Club, which is my Templates Club membership. And all of these PDFs that we're going to work on are going to be in there. Yeah, they're going to be in there. So if it's cool with you guys, I'm going to see if I can do my screen share. Let's see. Okay, cool beans. So we're going to kick it off over here with, gotta move everything. Okay, we're going to kick it off over here with talking about some fonts. So one of the biggest problems that I had seen a lot of people doing was like using fonts that were super busy. And one of the things that, hang on. Okay. Oh no, feed is choppy. If the feed is choppy, refresh the page. That should help. There should still be plenty of room for you guys. Okay. So one of the things are fonts. Now, I know that we've all seen fonts where it's like, oh, this would be really fun. And next thing you know, you're on a page and it has 78 different fonts and it looks crazy. And you're like, how did this happen? So, here are my favorite header fonts. I made this nice little handy dandy list, and obviously like take a screenshot. I'll make a funny face for you. There we go. Okay. And the reason being is because each one of these is simple, easy to read, and really catches your eye. Antonio, Oswald, and Roboto are kind of smaller, and you can use those as like body fonts. Like for headers, you can still use them. So one of the things that we see a lot of times, I'm just going to copy these guys so that we can. Another thing I love about Canva is the copy and paste feature. So we're going to go over here. See, it doesn't like me already. And we're going to see if we can find, there's one font that I have seen like every single person has used in Canva. And there's some of the words, I think that it's this one. Some of the letters in it are really difficult to read. That also looks kind of creepy, right? So that gives off a different vibe than if we were to do Grammarly and Canva. Good gravy. So it makes it seem forlorning, like scary kind of. Like if that's the vibe that you want to go with, totally go for it. But if you can just even do this, ready? So this is all in, I think that it is. Past Caroline should have had it together. Here we go. Oh, Caroline only had it halfway together. So see how the difference changed from like, here, we're going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. No, scroll up. There we go. So it went from being easy to read to kind of being a lot. It's like a lot of information, especially if you have more than one of those kind of calligraphy-ish fonts, to being much more subtle and feminine. But still being bold and still having some of those features that if you wanted to have something like a handwritten font, I like that one, but you don't want that to be like the, what is it called? Like your logo, your primary text on your blog. That would be super difficult to read, this one right here. Compare this to this. Which one are you easier to read if you're just like looking across the room, scrolling back, and which one do you see better? You see this one better. And so that's kind of what we want to do as far as like making sure that we're not overwhelming our people right off the bat. So before you even say anything, your colors, your fonts, the graphics that you use are setting a vibe for your people. Like we've all seen Facebook ads, right? Like obviously we've seen Facebook ads. In Facebook ads, you know which ones you're going to click on, not based on the offer necessarily, but based on like as you are scrolling down your feed, what's the first thing you see? You see a color, you see a design, you see a font, whatever it is, you see messaging, you see words. What is it that catches your eye? And it's not going to be the ones that are super busy. It's not going to be the ones that have literally all of this jumble of fonts all right there. Even right off the bat, guys, like these are my favorite fonts to use. But if I only saw one, two, three, four, 5.5 fonts on like an ad, I would go blank. It's too much. So that's where you kind of pick one header, one body font, and one accent font. That's what I choose to go with. And that's what I recommend to people because it's just easier to do. It's easier to do for you as a creator. It's easier for your people to read and understand. And then it's just easier to continue to create and have that branding throughout everything. So we have some of these fellas. Here's some more of them. And I wanted to show you guys because one of the big things in our world as bloggers, as internet creators, are these script fonts. So do you see how difficult this is to read here? Like this is crazy, except for Sweet Belly script, which is kind of easier. So is this one and this one, but this is too much. There's so much going on here. It's really impossible for your eyes to catch on to anything. So then I go down here and I decided to make them all lowercase. See how much easier that is to read? See how much like of a different vibe that gives here? This is kind of chaotic and frantic up here. And down here, we're mellow, we're smooth. Things are working together. There's a flow to it. And so without me ever saying anything about branding, about my branding, if you see me talking using this font, you're going to be very, very mellow. You don't want to use this as your primary font, but if you want to say something like bonus, you could have that there, or including, or whatever it is, kind of some emphasis word. That's where these kinds of scripts come in. If you're doing it for a product or for a pin, always like err on the side of caution when using script fonts. Because remember, like it's one of those things where it's like, I can see that this says Jimmy script, but if I don't know what it says, it might take extra time. And one of my favorite things in the world to say is confused people don't buy. If they are struggling to read what it is that your product says and what it is, they're not going to buy it. It might be the greatest thing in the world, but if you're confusing them right off the bat with your branding, with the scripts that or the fonts that you're using, with the colors that you're using, then it's going to be too much. So here are some of my favorite font combos that I wanted to show you guys, specifically because so I knew what serif and sans serif was. Sans serif, this is a serif font. Do you see how, here, we're going to zoom in a little bit. You guys are learning so much today. This is a serif font. Do you see the lines at the top? How they kind of swerve out? This is like, Times New Roman. This is a sans serif font. Sans serif is French for without serif. So it's basically what you want to do is if you are using a header that has no flourishes, you can use other words that have flourishes. If you're using a header that has the flourish, the serif, use your body text that does not have it. And honestly, here's like the real, like these are really great, especially like if you want to use these for like sales graphics or for pins. Having these kinds of pairings is really, really helpful because then all you have to do is just plug and play whatever your words are and it'll go well. But obviously, like, some words look better in certain fonts than they do in different fonts, which always irks me quite a bit, if we're being totally honest. But it makes it so much easier to create your stuff once you have this kind of like a bank, this backlog of font combos that you've used. So here's another thing that last time I shared the life-changing magic of tidying up. If you guys do not remember tidying up, let me see if I can do this. Hoik. We are going to position. Oh, let's see if we can do this. This is a lot here. I don't think it's going to work very well. Yeah, no, it didn't work very well. So here, let's see if we can do, nope. In case you guys forgot, my favorite thing in the entire world as far as Canva goes is using this tidy up feature. You go to position and then do tidy up and it will automatically make everything evenly spaced out. Now, obviously, like for this, we don't necessarily want that, but this is one of my other favorite things. So tidying up is obviously like the bomb diggity. But I also started doing this recently when I realized that I was making something difficult on myself, which I hate doing, by the way. But I realized that I was remaking my headers for my products, for my sales copy, for graphics, for pins. I realized I was making the same things over and over and over again. And so what I started doing was, is this it? Yeah, it is. I did, woo, we're zooming in too far again. I made a little bank of just my headers. So this one is one of the bonuses that if you guys join On Point Templates Club, you'll get. But I wanted to show it because these are honestly like super, super cute. I started making I guess it's technically just like a Twitter header size, or you could do it as like an email header size. And what I just started doing was whenever I made a design that I really liked, as far as a header goes, I would copy and paste it into this place, into this bank, essentially. And the reason there is because it made it so much easier to then just copy back over and we're going to hit her add page. It would just be so much easier to take this and go back over here and hit paste. Paste. There you go. Got it, guys. And now we have that same header font, that same font pairing that I really loved to do. And that's literally one of my favorite things. Because again, this makes it so much easier. So if you loved making this kind of a header, if you like the idea of having this block header, this super simple block header, and in the background so that people can actually read it on with this very, very flowy font on top of it to kind of give some dimension, make it look exciting, whatever it is. If you wanted to do that for all of your products, you can. If you wanted to make this into your email signature, you can. And it's all in the same place. So that's honestly like, this was one of my favorite things ever. So, and I have to talk to you guys about color here in a second. So then we have a few more of these with the, what is this thing called? Script font as the primary. And there are only a few situations where you would want that because, again, remember, like, we know the names of our products. We know what our pins are about. We know what we're trying to sell. But if our people have to really struggle to read what it is that we're saying or to understand what it's about, it becomes difficult, and confused people don't buy. If you make something difficult, people will feel confused and then they won't buy. And so we don't want that to happen. We just straight up don't want that to happen. So that's really like, these are some of my favorite font pairings of all time. I really love golden, but there are some words where it just does not work. Same thing with playlist. This is one of those fonts that I saw like all over Pinterest for like a really long time. And there are some of the letters in this font that just don't look. I think that it's T. T looks like a J. T looks like a J. And so if I'm talking about like time, that looks like Jimmy. Chime. And so we don't want that to happen. So it's another thing to just kind of not just have your fonts that you love, but to be aware that there are different options out there, especially for different, oh gosh, what are they called? For different fonts that you can use, for different pairings that you can use, for different words. That was what I was looking for. Different words. Wow. Could not think of the word words. Okay. Oh, I had a question here. Sorry. Don't we need to use the same fonts that we use on our website? No, you do not need to use the same fonts that you use on your website. I think that there's like, as far as like branding goes with fonts, it's really important, by the way, that if you do want to have like a signature font that you use, you can buy the rights to it. You can buy licensing to it. And you can do that through, there's a bunch of different websites that you can use. Creative Market is one. And inside of Canva, you can upload those fonts. So let me see if I can show you guys. I have a few fonts of mine that I have added, I guess, technically is what it is. So let's see if we can, if they're at the top. But as far as like branding, no, you do not necessarily need to use the exact same fonts over and over and over again. It can deviate. I don't think like especially like if you're doing something that's like an infographic on Canva, I've never been a big fan of the whole concept of like, you need to use your branded colors if you want pins to work in Pinterest. Primarily because it's like if your branding colors are lilac and gray, which would look beautiful on a website, but they're just not going to catch people's attention on Pinterest. It's kind of the same thing with sales. Like if you have a product and you're like, this is super bold and pink and everything, but your branding colors are gray and you like people to feel kind of calmed and subdued and you want to kind of give that message off of like ease, then you don't want to use bold colors and and glitter and gold foil. So a lot of it kind of comes back to the message that you're trying to portray to your people. If you love the idea of having a very muted color palette, because like if you talk about like yoga or something, so we're going to pick on poor yogis here for a second. If you talk about yoga on your blog, if your blog is all about yoga, you want to kind of cultivate that relaxed, chill environment. And you would do that using cool colors, cool pastels, things that make people feel a certain way just by being on your blog. Like it's like when you walk into a store and you're like, this store is so me. And you just feel like you belong there. That's what you want people to feel like when they land on your blog, when they land on your email, when they land on your site. But if the coloring and the branding that you're using is pushing them away, like I went to a store recently and I was like, I never would have come in here because the name was off. It was called like the bookstore, I'm not kidding. It was called like the bookstore, but it sold candles. And it was like a candle emporium kind of thing. And it was in a building that was very nondescript. It's like a very hippie environment once you get in there. But the branding and the colors and everything that they were portraying from the outside put me off. And that's what we want to be aware of for our people. We don't want them to be put off. We want them to feel like what we're saying is something that they need to listen to. And you open up their receptivity to you, to your message, to your branding, once you are able to convey that without them ever having to consciously read a word. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so where's the one? I think that it's called Mallory script is what I have. Come on. Hang on. Yes, here it is. This is a font that I actually bought that I own the rights to. I have the licensing to them. And I use it across, a lot of different places on my website. I can buy as many fonts as I want. I like to do that personally. But this is one of the fonts that I own, and you can upload it to Canva. Cooperate with me. Cooperate. There we go. Upload a font, and that's where you can set it all up. So whilst we are here, we're going to kind of play around with something really quick. We're going to delete. Delete. No, go away. I said delete. There you go. And we're going to go back over here. Scoop up one of our headers. What do you guys think? Which one are we feeling today? I'm kind of feeling this guy. So we're just going to copy this bad boy and paste it over here so that you guys can see that in action. We're going to make it bigger, move it over. And so right off the bat, just from my branding here, I am kind of trying to convey a fun environment, one that is exciting and enjoyable and joyful, whatever it is, but relaxed. It's not strict. It's not uniform. It still kind of goes with the flow, which I think is probably why I use, what is it called? I use brush strokes so often in all of my branding, because to me, it is go with the flow. It's relaxed. It's fun. It's joy. But one of the things, so we're going to do a non-example here really quick, because one of the things that I see so often, like, I mean, you guys have probably seen it too, where you are like trying to design something and you're like, what did I just create? I created Frankenstein's monster. That's what I've created. And we obviously, like, we don't want that to happen. So we're going to make this white, but we're going to move it to the back, because before we do that, So let's see. We're just going to say, guys, throw out some graphics ideas. Let's say we like to do flowers. And we're still trying to figure out our branding here. So we like the idea of having graphics. We like the idea of this header. That's really fun and everything. Ooh, so we're going to go down to free because that's what we're trying to do here for you guys so that you can see fireworks. Shay, love that. Okay, hang on. So we're going to go for throwing up this guy, making it real big, whatever. Move you down here. Okay. Ooh, but I like this one too. So then we're going to move this over here. Maybe we'll move it up here to the corner. Cool, cool. Oh, but I also like this. And so now we're going to move this down here. Maybe we'll turn it a little bit so that it makes sense in the corner. Frankenstein's monster. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's basically. And next thing you know, we're looking at like this monstrosity of a page where we're like, I like flowers. And oh, okay, this is great. So we'll put petals over here. Can we put it in the background? That'd be really fun. And so then let's see. Ooh, this one, that would be really great on the sides. Going up. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Come on. There you go. And so here's the problem that we encounter, guys, is that we kind of have an issue with this page. So the overall feel that we were going for was, I really like flowers. Flowers are cool. Flowers are great. Let's do something with flowers. Okay. Whoop. There we go. Move it in the middle. So now we have a page. Like we're going to call this, you know, our little page. That's not exactly the vibe that I want to come across, right? Like we want to make sure that this is something, not this. We want to figure out if there is like a solid theme that we want to go with. So if we wanted to go with something, what do you guys think? We'll go with colors. Let's do some kind of pastel-y colors, muted. Actually, I kind of dig this one. I don't know why. I'm feeling it today. And so I like to go to the magic recommendations and see what other things are there. So see how these kinds of muted colors, and you can change them to be with your branding colors, which is really nice. So we're going to duplicate this page and we're going to start removing stuff, because here's the problem that we have when we're starting out is we have this in kind of like idea of like, I want to put flowers on there, but I don't know what kind. I don't know how. It seems like a lot. And next thing we know, we're accidentally loading up the page with stuff that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It looks like Martha Stewart vomited all over the page. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that's what we want to avoid. We want to have people who are showing up on our products, on our stuff, when we want them to understand, like, I get what I'm talking about. I am a professional. You are a professional. Like, you're not here because you just like, I'm some rando from the internet. You probably know me from somewhere. Like, you know that I have a specific brand. You know that I know what I'm talking about. And that's what we want our graphics to convey right off the bat. And you do this in a few different ways, but one of them is just making things your own. So we are going to just kind of roll with this one flower. Going to make this guy smaller, copy and paste, make this guy over here. Let's see, flip it around a little bit so that it doesn't look exactly the same. There we go. Add a leaf. Do we want to add a leaf, guys? We're going to add a leaf. Make you smaller. Bring you over here. Turn you again. Send you to the back. Copy, paste. Bring you up here. Whoop. Flip. Horizontal and vertical. Nope, that's not the right one. No, flip. Why are you not flipping? Oh, because I need to turn it. I literally just said I'm a professional and then I can't figure out how to turn my own items. And so Now we've got our own little corner design. Now, obviously, like you can change these things around. You can make this different. You can move them closer in together. There's a lot of different things that you can do. But at the same time, now we've made our little pocket design. We're going to call that a little pocket design. Because whilst we are here, we're going to copy paste. New here. Turn that there. There. Copy paste. I'm going to try to make this. Whoop. Going to try at least to make this a little bit more professional looking after I just said, I'm like, I'm a professional. Says no Caroline ever. Okay, so now we have our cute little corner design. And obviously, like this is one of those fun parts where it's like you've now made this little design. You're using the free elements inside of Canva. You can make this design and you can customize it. You can change the colors if you wanted to. And this is going to be another fun thing that we can do in just a second. But now we can get rid of this. And now we're going to, actually, I'm just going to get rid of you. I had you in the background for a reason, but now I don't remember why. And so now, let's see. I guess we could just really kind of group all of these together with Command G, copy, paste, move you up here, and then flip. Whoop, nope, flip the whole thing. Flip the whole thing. You're not going to let me flip you, are you? No, you're not. Shame. It's a pity. Let's see. And there we go. And so now we're going to move you up to the corner. And now we have our cute little cover. We're going to change these colors to match. Now we're going to get rid of this guy in the background because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And now we have our pretty little cover right there. And so we started with Martha Stewart vomiting all over the page. We're using the same kind of header that we've already saved from over there. And now we're ending up with this. That's a much better cover, if we're being totally honest, than that. And so now I'm going to go back up here and say, which of these fonts do I want to use? I like Montserrat. I don't actually know if I'm saying that correctly, if we're being totally honest, but I do like that font. So then we're going to put this here, and this is going to be your subtitle. Or you could make it your name. It doesn't really matter. But so now we have our fun header that's easy to read. And now we have our fun tagline. Ta-da! Fun tagline. We have our fun, beautiful design, and see how easy it was to find the same branding. Now this kind of goes into another, here we go. This is another fun thing. And I think we touched on this in our last video, but I have no problem going back over it again. If you're like, I don't know how to find brand colors. I don't know how to find the colors that I want to use. I don't know what kind of branding colors I want or the vibe that I want or anything like that. But what we are going to do here is we're going to kind of keep with the floral theme because that's where my brain is today, is thinking about pretty flowers. Oh, maybe we should do the beach. What do you guys think? Flowers or beach? Like springtime? I swear I'm going somewhere. I just need a little bit of feedback on that one. If we say springtime, let's just go with spring flowers. April showers. Oh, if Caroline can spell. Spring flowers. Flowers. Shay, you are my people. Beach, says Pam. Well, if I can't find any flowers that I want to use, any images that I want to use. So here's what I'm trying to go with right now. Let's see. Okay, this one. We're going to pick on this one really quick. Hopefully this will work for me. I like the vibe of this. It's crisp, it's clean, it's fun, it's nice. Okay, so we have a bunch of beaches and a few flowers. Guys, you're killing me. I swear I'll do it in just a second. And so now we're going to go back over here to elements. No, go away. I now want a circle. Come on. Psst. Don't embarrass me, Canva. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Gosh. Okay. And so now we're going to make you a smaller. And then let's see if this will work. Because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Yes. Okay, so now it's pulled up the colors from this photo. These are the Canva suggested colors from that photo, which is totally fine because we're just using it as an example. So if you're like, you know, I really kind of like those colors. That's the kind of vibe that I want to go with in this product. And this is another one of those things where it's like for branding, guys, if you want to use kind of a different color palette for each product, you can. I do think, especially like for product creation, it's a really important thing if you do have some kind of continuity. So that could mean that you have a like a signature style that you use where you have like your header is at the top of every page and it's bold, or if it's something smaller and more simple, like I can't even think, y'all. If you just have something where, you know, you're trying to figure out like, I know, let me think of somebody who I can pick on. So Amy Porterfield, right? Amy Porterfield. Ooh, why did you change color? I didn't want you to change color. Amy Porterfield, back to her. I know Amy Porterfield's branding without ever needing to know that it's from Amy Porterfield. Even if she uses a different font, even if it's for a different product, even if it's for a different web training. So she uses sometimes different colors or different images for those things. But I know her branding. I know her crisp looks. I know her mustard, her mustard yellow in all of her stuff. I know that she's going to have her face somewhere in there. And I know that it's going to be, what do we associate with Amy Porterfield? Super helpful. So all of those things without ever needing to know that it's from Amy Porterfield, like full stop. So if you can't figure out a good kind of color that you want to use, you can always use, I guess, really Canva recommended branding colors. That's kind of my go-to thing is if you're like, I don't know what colors to use for this, go with that. Next thing we're going to do though, because here, we're going to copy and paste y'all because that was easier. Could have just duplicated that page, but I chose not to. Why, Caroline? I don't know. I didn't get enough sleep last night, maybe. Okay, so now we're going to go with, because the next thing was beach. Okay, so we're going to go with, let's see. Oh, I love this one. I love this one. I'm not ready for the summer to be over, by the way, because I still haven't gone to the beach yet. So I'm like, So now it's pulled back up different branding colors. Now we're going to be able to use this if we wanted to have a different color palette. So now obviously like they're kind of similar in like the muted colors. They're not super bright. They're not super vibrant. And that's okay for this. If you do want something more bright and more vibrant, we're going to go ahead and keep making these little pages. Let's see if we can, if I use that picture, will you show me a bright color palette? Oh, there we go. That's a bright color palette. That's a brighter color palette. It's obviously not like still super bright. And here's the thing, guys, with this like recommended color palette that they're showing you, you don't have to use it. You do not have to. It's not something that you have to like stick with. If you don't like it, you can always get an eyedropper tool. This is where I use PicMonkey because this is the one thing that Canva still doesn't have that drives me absolutely bonkers, like bananas, that they don't have an eyedropper tool. So I would go over to PicMonkey and I would be dragging around my eyedropper tool to try to find where it is that I want that color. So I would have something with this aqua color here, like, yeah, there's a lot more things that you can do if you don't like that colorway. But this is, if you're like, I know that I want people to feel something. I know that I want them to feel excited. I want them to feel pumped. Let's go ahead and do like bold blue and pink. And let's see what comes up here. Here we go. Okay. Congratulations to this poor stock model. We're going to use you for our images here, for our colors. Let's see what you got, Canva. Okay, so now we've got these bold colors, but that's really kind of it. And then it's kind of muted again. And it's like, oh, well, so we've got two bold colors. Sorry, but it's one of those things where the sky is really the limit with this. And once you do have a new color palette, if you wanted to, so we're going to pick on this color. Let's see. No, that didn't work. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, here. So we're going to pick on this color. Nope. This color. If I wanted to change all of the colors in this and reuse this little branding, because I'm like, I loved this so much. I want to keep these flowers, like, because they just speak to my soul. Every once in a while, you'll make a design and you're like, oh yeah, this is the one. It gets me. Once you do that and you're like, but I don't want everybody to think that, like, if this is, we're going to give this guy a name. We're going to call it product one. Oh, talk about speaking to my soul. I'm kidding. So if we have this and we're like, you know, I really like this, but I don't want everybody to think that this same thing is the same as product one. So we're going to make product two, but we're going to change the color from this kind of muted coral. We're going to change it to, I don't know, why not? And so now we can do change all, and bada bing, bada boom, we have a different color. If you really wanted to, you can switch these to different sides. You could change the leaves. You could change the center. Does not matter. It does not matter. And this is kind of where it gets a little bit cool, I guess, is like the sky's the limit with this stuff. You can change this up. If you want to just like have one of your products, product one is going to be your flower product, but product two is going to be your, I don't know. Shay said fireworks. Product number two is going to be your fireworks product. So we're going to say, okay, so for product two, I like the idea of having them in the corners, which always helps because having things in corners, like it's just one of those balancing things. And if you can't figure out anything to do and you're like, I want something on this page because it's boring, put something in the corners, top and bottom corners. So let's go with fireworks. See if there's anything that we can use here. Fingers crossed, guys. Oh, that's pro. Darn. Static and free. Apply the filters. And let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. I love how many color customizations you can do there. But for our purposes, we're going to make you small. Oh, I like this guy better. Okay, so we're going to get rid of you because I like this guy better because it's bolder. And it's watercolor. Oh my gosh, speak to my soul some more. But you can't change the colors, so that could be a game changer for you. Let's see. Can we change your colors? No, that's another watercolory one. Where did it go? There it is. Designing with Canva with Caroline. Try to say that 10 times fast. So let's go ahead. Make this smaller, turn you. I like between the life-changing magic of tidying things up and then just the difference that you can do to something just by tilting it in a different direction. It's one of those really fun things. And obviously, like, you can change the colorway. You can make this more fun. You can make it match your branding, whatever it is that you want to do. Scroll down here. Go on, right there. There you go. Good job. Good job, internet. And normally Canva is not this slow. It's just whenever I do a training, it gets cranky with me. And so, I want it flipping vertical. We're going to flip you vertical and flip you vertical so that they all look right. And so now let's see, because Canva pulls the recommended or the colors that you use from each one of them. It'll put them all, whoops-a-daisies, right there, kind of at the top. But because this is such a mixed bag of things, there's a lot more colors inside of this document than usual. But there we go. So now we have the same general branding that you use from your products. So product one, there is no way that people are going to be getting confused between product one and product two. Even if you were to use the same general outline and layout for your products, it's super simple. So yeah, that's really kind of the fun part about Canva and designing. So let's go ahead and we're going to do one more because honestly, I love these. This is so much fun. So we're going to do one of the things that's like super popular right now. This is going to be really funny to type in here. Are blobs, like amorphous shapes. And I'm like, okay, whatever the internet's into right now, man, like whatever works. We're just going to go for it. But this is kind of where it gets to get a little bit more fun, is where you get to design your own kind of pattern, really. So we're going to move you here, flip you around, flip there. Because I like to have things kind of playing off of the corners. And if they don't, I would like to kind of blur it into the corner. You don't want something that's pointing, making a weird angle at the corner if you can help it. Let's see. And so, we'll make you big. Why not? Seriously, don't embarrass me in front of my friends on the internet. Canva, we can be friends, but we can't be fighting here, man. Now, those are too similar in value. So do you see how they kind of blend into each other here? It's because this is a kind of pastel and this is a kind of pastel. And it's just too close in value. So if we were to, nope, that's way too different. So if we were to change this to a brighter blue, let's see if we can find a brighter blue. This one's my brighter blue. We're going to use that guy. If we were to change it to a brighter blue, we're going to change this so that it looks like it matches. You could stick with a blue for this if you wanted. We're just going to go with it for now. And then the beauty again, guys, you can keep changing this. This is a living, breathing organism that you can keep changing. And if things like look weird and you're like, you know, I liked it, but now I don't, you can delete them. You can delete it. So like right now, like this one in the background is irking me. It was bugging me. It was bugging me too much. But to the same token, these are just like backwards images of each other. So that was bugging me. I am a tough customer to please here. This is why I have to do my own design stuff, because I would be fired by so many designers. They'd be like, you are impossible to work with. Impossible. Like, sorry. Let's see. Come on. We're just going to fill in this bottom part here and see what we got here. Boop. And turn you. And turn you. No, we're going to keep you like that. I don't know. If you are so inclined to want to do something with blobs, you always can. It's just one of those things where it's like, if you're trying to do something that everybody else is doing and it just doesn't feel right to you, you don't have to. You just don't have to. Like, full stop. That was something I wish that I learned way many years ago. Was like, if everybody else is doing this, but you think it looks like poop, you don't have to do it. Even if everyone's saying like, this is what's doing really well on Canva. It's like, but if you don't like it, it doesn't matter. Don't do it. Like, if it doesn't go with your branding, if it doesn't go with the vibe that you're trying to put across, you don't have to do it. So let's see. We're going to replace you with you. We're going to turn you, flip. There we go. And just having some fun with boring shapes. I guess they're not boring. Am I the boring one? Changing up the layering, seeing if anything works better that we like. This guy is just bugging me. Why are you like this? I definitely don't like that color. We're not going to do a brown. That's too much. Okay. Whoop. And we're going to send you to the back. And so we have our layers. And I'm not super in love with this, if we're being totally honest. But if you were so inclined to make sure that you had something that was blob-ish, like blob-like. Is that a word? If you really wanted to do something that everybody else is doing because everyone else is doing blobs and you're like, I don't know, I guess I have to do them. First off, you don't have to. But if you really wanted to, you could. I hate them right now, so we're going to get rid of them and put in something. Oh, this is kind of like both a flower and a firework. Put you in the background. Let's see. Move you to the back. Change your color. Do I like that color? Yeah, sure. We're going to go with it. And sure, we'll go with that. And going to go with our magic recommendations here because that's always fun. When in doubt, guys, if you're like, I don't know what to do, magic recommendations. It really is fun. So let's see. We're going to actually make you smaller so that we can repeat you because we're going to make our own little pattern here. Let's see. Ta-da. And this is, again, like, guys, it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be impossible. This is just one of those fun little things where if you wanted to design a bunch of different product covers that have the same general vibe, this is how I do it. I mean, literally product 1, product 2, and product 3, you still kind of get a general of the same vibe from all of them. They're still relaxed. They're still chill. But at the same time, they can be fun. They can be exciting. They can have different color changes based on whatever it is that you want to do. So yeah, there we go. I actually really like product 3. How about that? Like, usually like product 1 is the one that I love so much. Whenever I do any kind of like designing stuff. Let's see. Which color are you? Okay, so that's the one that matches that. But I actually kind of liked that original one. Go figure. Again, talk about things that don't happen. Can you show something like sewing stitches? Ooh, Sandy, this is a fun thing. Thank you for bringing that up because so I learned this shortcut is literally you click on the page and then you press L. No control, no nothing. If you just press the letter L, a line will appear. See that line? Inside of this line, we can make it dashed so that it can look like stitches, like sewing stitches. And then you can turn it, bring it over here, bring it down, copy paste, bring it over there. Whoop. Are those even? I don't know. I think that they are. Go figure. Go me. Every once in a while, I can get something even. I can get something even on the first try. And with these, by the way, you can do dots. This is another fun little thing that you can do. If you wanted to, let's see if we're going to just do L again. There we go. If we wanted to have it with an arrow on one end, see how it's got the arrow? You can have the other end that has an arrow as well if you wanted. You could have it start with a point. There's a lot of fun things that you can do in Canva. I have been using Canva since 2015, and I'm still finding new things to do with it. One of my favorites, though, has to be the things that you can do inside of the texts. Because honestly, like, I was really frustrated that you couldn't do a lot of things with text. Same thing with like removing the background and everything. That was really frustrating. But thankfully, you don't have to worry about that anymore. So yeah, that is all of the fun things. Now, one more kind of like, I guess, warning is maybe that's not the right word, is when you find that you're like designing something in Canva and you're like, I don't know if this is too much or too little. Even this is just fine. Like this simple design is perfectly fine. If you feel like you don't know if you're over designing or under designing, close the computer, walk away, and come back to it in a little bit. Because if you can look at something with fresh eyes, it's like one of those things where it's like, have you ever looked at a word for so long after you've been typing it and you're like, that's not spelled right? I know that the word the does not just have 3 letters. It just doesn't look right to me. Does anybody ever do that? It's the exact same thing with Canva. It's the exact same thing with designing. It's when in doubt, come back, close it and come back. And the beauty of it is also you can control the designs. You can do this. Like this is not something that anybody is making you like, oh, well, it needs to have X, Y, and Z. It really doesn't. Some of the like design elements. So obviously, like you guys know, we're gonna keep duplicating pages here. Let's see. We'll just pick on product number 4. Okay, so you guys know that you know titles are in the center of pages. But one of the things that I've seen is instead of centering your title, have it off to the side. So have it all left aligned, not right aligned, left aligned. If you can have it that way, because a lot of times it gets to be easier to read because our eyes as Americans, as people who read English, we go left to right. That's how we're used to reading. So sometimes when we're just focused on like the middle, it becomes difficult. Like especially if you're doing like a body text, like where you want people to read. So think about it. Like if you picked up your favorite book and it was all center aligned, it would give you a headache. It would give you a headache. So when you're making your actual content for your product, you want to make sure that it is not center aligned, that it is left aligned, if that makes sense. And the reason being is because, again, you don't want to tire out your people. You want them to actually be able to utilize your products and your content. You don't want them to be like, oh my gosh, I read this once and it gave me a headache. So we're going to pick on, I like glacial indifference today, which sounds hilarious, by the way. Psst. There we go. So let's see. Here we go. And make you bigger. So even without having to have any kind of text other than just the title of this on this front page, it now has a totally different vibe to it. It has a totally different vibe to it. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. And if you really wanted to, you can, let's see if we can do this. One of my other favorite things, if you're like, when in doubt, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. When in doubt, just add a color block to a side of it. If those are too close, move them a little bit. Give it a little bit of breathing room. Move over. There you go. Got it. And there. Except I guess this is number 5. And it's all still from the same general stuff. It's all from the same general, like, patterns, I guess. Is that the words I was going to use? Is patterns? Oh, and this is kind of fun. So if you're on the elements page and you're on, see how the graphics over here change? I wonder if that's because I searched for it. No, because I definitely didn't search for that. Oh, cute. They have more magic recommendations for this page. Oh, very cute. See, you learn something new every day. And that's kind of why I love Canva. So we are not going to overwhelm our people right off the bat. Like if we're talking about products, if we're talking about pins, if we're talking about covers for our freebies, all of that stuff, you do not want to overwhelm your people. That's the last thing that we want to do, because overwhelmed people means that they are confused. They're confused by your messaging. They're confused by what it is that they're seeing. They're confused by what it is that they're selling, you're selling, and they won't buy. And it doesn't even need to be necessarily like a product. They won't buy can mean that they won't sign up for your email list. They won't click on your Facebook ad. They won't click on that thing that you've worked so hard to create for your email list. Like, we don't want any of that to happen. We want it to be super straightforward, super easy for them, because the easier that it is for your readers, the more that likely they will be to sign up, and then the more likely that they will be then to see results. Because at the end of the day, we're not just making products, ebooks, pins, whatever it is, freebies. We're not just making it like just willy-nilly. We're doing it because this is something that brings us joy and brings us money. This is our business. This is not just, our hobby just for, again, the sillies, the fun, and the I can't say poops and giggles. So we're going to say poops and giggles. You're not just doing it because, I woke up today and decided that I was going to make a 52-page ebook. It's not something that that's not something that like normal people do. So we're doing this because honestly, we want our people to get results, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we are getting compensated for our time. So I hope that this kind of like little bit of mini color palette lessons of things not to do, a la Martha Stewart vomit page, all the way down to making 5 different product pages that super simple to come up with, coming up with color palettes, super simple, deciding on font pairings that actually look good, that are legible, because again, confused people don't buy. Whenever I want you guys, like, I'm going to keep saying it until like, you guys are like, whenever I'm making a pin, I hear Caroline in the back of my head say, confused people don't buy. And I take it down from my 5 fonts that I was using to 2. That's what we want to do. Same thing across everything. The easier that we can make it for our people, the better. And at the same time, when we make it easier for our readers, for our people, for our buyers, for our subscribers, for our freebie grabbers, whatever it is, the easier that we make it for them, the easier it is for us. And then the easier that things get to be for us, the more enjoyable it will be. And next thing you know, you're a product creating maven, like superstar. That's what we all want, right? So I hope that helped. And I want to give you guys, this is going to be as a bonus today. You guys are going to get the PDF here that we've just created. Surprise, I kept adding to it. And now you get a bunch of covers too. And the Martha Stewart vomit page. So you guys are going to be getting this if you decide that today is a good day to sign up for, that's not it, because you get that also. If you guys decide that today is a good day to sign up for the On Point Templates Club. This is my favorite creation that I've ever done. You don't need to figure it all out on your own when it comes to creating products, creating your freebies, creating sales pages. Hint, hint, we didn't even talk about that, but that's going to come up in another training. Creating sales graphics, all of that stuff, I do it for you. I give you the templates. Every single month, you get a new set of templates inside of the On Point Templates Club. You don't have to hire a designer because you are the designer. It's easy. It is easy. It is fun. And the more easy and fun it is, the more that you will do it. So this is what you get inside of it. So every month, I will give you Canva and PicMonkey templates. They will be freebies, PDFs, ebook, workbook, opt-in pages, sales graphics, product mock-up templates, and you will get one of my high converting lead page templates as well, like straight from lead pages. And so you literally will have everything that you need to create, market, and sell your products that you've created so that you don't have this huge just bank of stuff, of templates or of products that you've created for yourself. You don't just have all of that just sitting there taking up digital space. You're actually going to be able to market it. You're going to be able to make money from your creations from the products that you've done. It is absolutely a game changer, guys. So I wanted to show you guys, I think that this was 2 months ago, maybe. This was some of the things that you guys can have inside of the Templates Club. It goes really fast, but there's Instagram graphics, there's printables, there's PDFs, there are sales page graphics. So like, the headers and everything, there's those in there too. And because you're here, you guys are going to get this bonus video. So it's going to be just for the people who join On Point Templates Club are going to get this bonus video. You're going to have access to the library of training videos as well. There's how to customize the videos, trainings. There are new trainings that are added every single month because, like I said, I have been using Canva since 2015, and I'm still learning new things to do with it. It's the exact same thing with lead pages, and it's the exact same thing with PicMonkey. I learn something new, I make a video for you, and you learn it too. So that way it gets even easier for you to create these things over and over and over again. This training, like the training library itself, is a $97 value, but I'm going to give it to you as a bonus. Plus, because I do way over the top bonuses, and I'm not even ashamed to say it, you guys are going to have exclusive access to the PDFs that I've created inside of this training, along with the fonts guide. This is a brand new and improved one. Plus, you're going to get these headers templates as well for when you sign up. These are some of my favorites, guys. Like, don't tell anybody I gave them to you. They're super cute. They're so much fun, and they're totally different. And same thing with, this is going to be another one that I did not make a bonus card for. But this is a PDF that you're going to have access to so that you can kind of have everything in one place so that you understand like good font pairings compared to bad ones. You can have the link right there, made that one for you. Make sure that your spacing is good. These are all kind of just like basic PDF of how to make good graphics. And you're going to get all of this as your bonus when you join the On Point Templates Club. The link to join is carolinevenzel.com/OPTC. Whoops. There we go. Publish. Is that right? Yeah, there we go. Now we're there. That was the one I was looking for. And it is absolutely one of my favorite things that I've ever created. And I'm really grateful that I get to do these Canva trainings and teach you guys how much I love Canva and how much you can do inside of Canva to create your own products, to market your own products, and to sell them super easily. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be something that you need to hire a graphic designer for. You can create the products that you've already have in your head. You can do that. And I want to help you to do that through the templates inside of the On Point Templates Club. So the way that it works, by the way, is you get access to this month and the previous month. So on the first of the month, the brand new templates get released. So you get 2 months of templates at a time. So you get the current month and the previous month. And then once the next month rolls around, you still get 2 templates and the other one gets retired. That's how it works. So you get this huge library of templates from PicMonkey, Canva, and you get, I guess it's technically 2 lead pages at a time through the Templates Club. And that's it. It's a really, really fun place to be. Plus, then if you have any questions, I want to do videos based off of our members' questions. Like if you have a question on how to set something up in lead pages, I want to help you to do that. That's what it's there for. So, and remember, you guys, because you're here during this webinar, you guys get all of those bonuses too. So yeah, I hope that was a lot of information. This was a lot of information I just threw at you guys. And I hope that like, talk about confused people don't buy. I hope that it wasn't an overwhelming amount, because I know that like when it comes to design stuff, it's difficult to explain in like a super condensed period of time. Like it's very, very difficult. So yeah, I hope that really helped you guys. And I hope that you, have a lot of great new ideas that you can kind of put out there. Okay, did we have any questions? Because if we have any questions, I would be happy to answer them because I have a few more minutes. That never happens. I never get done early, like ever. I'm like the last person to get in. Oh, sorry, Sandy. Sandy, oh my goodness. Yes. So for the On Point Templates Club right now, it's $25 a month to be in the On Point Templates Club. We do have an option to buy quarterly and to buy every 6 months. And you get an amount for free. I can't remember what it is. I think that it's $10 off if you do a quarter, and then it's essentially like 1 month free if you do 6 months. Man, I should probably know the pricing of my own products. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay. Woo! How do you watch the replay? I will be sending out a link where you can watch the replay from the beginning if you want to. It's really, really, this is a really fun training. I'm really glad that this is going to be in the video vault for the On Point Templates Club, because this is a good one. Like, this is a good one. Whoops. Okay, hang on. I missed one. Hang on. The comments are going too quickly. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I said this. So we had a question from Katya. You probably went over this. It's totally fine. Use the same header font for everything. Is it okay to do different ones for like the header, the subheader, etc., or is it still too busy? I'm so new to all of this and trying to make my website and can't decide between 5 fonts. Yes. So I like to think of it like 3 fonts. Okay. So especially for website stuff, but it's the same thing, I guess, with like your content on like an ebook or whatever. We want to make sure that the body font is super, super legible. So keeping it simple is always best. Like Arial font, I know everybody has it and it's like, oh my gosh, another site with Arial font, but there's a reason for it. It's easy to read. It's easy to see. And remember, confused people don't buy. Confused people won't read something if it hurts their eyes. So we want to keep our fonts on our body text, both in printables, in ebooks, or on our websites. We want to keep it super easy to read. Your header should be the same. It should be bold, eye-catching, and big. So we're not talking like, you have a size 14 body font and a size 18 header. You want your header to be bigger. Does that make sense? And I would do no more than 3 fonts. So I would do your body font, which is super boring, but bear with me because I'm going somewhere, and dark. You want your body font, even if it's for a printable or for an ebook or for your website, you want your body font to be dark. You want it to be black or like very, very dark gray. Reason being, again, you want people to be able to read it. You want people to be able to see it. They're there for a reason. They're there to actually learn. Black is easiest to read. And I know that it's boring and I wish that it wasn't, but sometimes boring is okay, guys. There's nothing wrong with things being boring. Okay. So there's that. And then I would do an accent font. What I mean by that is that's another one of those that you don't have on every single post, obviously. But like if you want to have a hello welcome mat on your site, you can use that accent font to say, hi, my name is Katya. Here I am. Like, welcome to my site. You want something that is a little bit of fun, still legible, and you won't use it very often. We're talking like 2 words, kind of like accent font. And then everything else should be your header font or your body font. And there's nothing wrong with having, like, you can break rules if you want, but usually 3 fonts, your primary for your body, your primary for your header, and your accent font. That's the same across the board. Again, whether it's for a blog post, a PDF, or for like pins or anything that you're designing, it's easier for you too, so you're not like feeling overwhelmed. If you want to change things up a little bit, you totally can. But boring is okay. Boring is okay. And that's where your design palette can come in. That's where you can change things up with the way that you present the content, the colors that you use, the designs that you use in the background. It doesn't always have to be like your fonts are, like setting the mood for something. or trying to set yourself apart. There's nothing wrong with using the same kind of font, especially if it's already working. And that's why Arial font is one of those things, like, for, you know, you go onto like everybody's blog and it's Arial font. It's because it works. It's because it's easy to read, it's easy to see, and it works. It just keeps working. Okay, sorry. Here's the other question. Sorry. So I hope that made sense. How long is the offer good for? Okay, so this training, I'm going to put it into the video vault tomorrow at midnight. So on Friday at midnight. Is that right? What's tomorrow? Tomorrow at midnight, this video is going to go into the OPTC vault, and it will not be available for replay anymore. But it's going to be in the OPTC vault. So if you join, it's there. Yes, simply not boring. Yeah. It doesn't have to be boring necessarily. Like, you don't have to be, you know, just black and white and grayscale. You can throw colors in there if you want. But the big thing, especially with your headers, when you're designing your headers for like on a blog or anything, you want to make sure that it stands out. Even for things like, for like pins, if you're using branding colors, if you've been super married to like using your branding colors on pins, or in like your copy, you don't have to be, especially with pins. The idea with pins isn't necessarily to convey your branding right off the bat. It's to get people's attention. That's what it is. It's the same thing with like a Facebook ad. If you're using your branding, but your branding is kind of grayscale, and you're like, no one's clicking on my stuff. Well, it could be that because no one's clicking on it, or no one's clicking on it because they're not seeing it. It's not standing out to them. So you need to kind of be aware of those things and be willing to pivot, not necessarily with your branding colors, but with the way that you're presenting the information. Does that make sense? Like with the colors that you're using, especially in promotional materials. It doesn't have to be grayscale. You can throw your own picture in your promo materials if you want. It doesn't matter. You make the rules. You make the rules. Have fun with it. That's the big thing that I want people to understand about design and about like everything when it comes to our businesses. We make the rules. We get to choose that it can be fun. You can have fun with your branding. You can have fun with your colors. You can have fun with your messaging, with your products, with all of that stuff, with creating your opt-in boxes, with designing your lead pages. You can have fun with all of that and sell your products and get your stuff out there and have people join your email list. There you go. Katya. Thanks so much for going over that. You're totally fine. My boyfriend's in the background going, I told you so. Oh, you guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me today on this lovely day with my crazy mom hair. And yeah, so if you did join OPTC, yay for everybody who joined. So excited to have you. You guys are going to get the best bonuses. When you join, you will have immediate access to the bonus. It's in a separate place from OPTC because you joined and it's a bonus, but you get immediate access to everything. So, all right, guys. And I will see you next time we do this. And if you're catching the replay, remember it's coming down soon. So take care, guys. Bye.